Hey girls, this is Katie. So I'm 13 weeks and 3 days today, and in just a few more days I'm going to be at 14 weeks, which is by everybody's definition the second trimester. So I wanted to do a sort of like a collage of the highs and maybe the lows of the first trimester, and also share with you a few things that I found really helpful so far that I want to recommend. So there's actually a first trimester review tag video on YouTube that I've seen, and I'm not going to stick very religiously to that because I feel like a lot of the questions I've already talked about a lot. But for my purposes here, looking back, I will say that I definitely feel like my symptoms peaked between weeks 6 and 10. By 10, I was feeling things start to improve a little bit. But man, that month right there was really difficult. So for everybody who is just finding out you're pregnant, and for those of you who are in the midst of that, that was my experience. Hopefully it'll be the same for you. And you know, you may be able to plan. Like I wish we had not moved during that month. If I had an idea that that might be the hardest time, I would have tried to schedule things differently. So maybe as a little heads up, again, I know it's different for everybody, but definitely for me, weeks 6 to 10 were the most difficult. The first person that we told, well, I told my husband, of course, and then I told you guys. After that was my parents, and then a few minutes later, my husband's parents. The first time that we saw that we had an ultrasound, which was also the same time that we heard the heartbeat, that was at 5 weeks and 4 days. 5 weeks, 4 days. Pretty unexpected. It was on my first appointment to my clinic. And we have not actually had an ultrasound since then, because we've just sort of opted for the more low-tech route. So we're pretty comfortable with that at this point, and we're really looking forward to the ultrasound at around 18 to 20 weeks. Let's see. Did we have any scares? This may or may not be pregnancy related, but I'll say the one scare that we did have was in, I think, the 6th week. I had a really bad allergy to food, and or at least I think that's what it was. And I've never had anything like that before, so that was really scary. I just didn't know if it was going to end, and I didn't know if it was going to affect my pregnancy. So as far as I know, everything is still okay. Cravings, my biggest cravings were probably for salty things early on, until I decided that I'm going to try to be careful with salt. Also fruit, especially citrus stuff. That's really been what's been getting me through so far. So I don't know, people say salty stuff is boy and citrus is girl, so I know it's not both, so we'll see. I did want to show a picture of somewhere during my first trimester. I'm not even sure why I did this, but I took photos of sort of like a typical breakfast for me and a typical lunch. So I'm going to insert those photos. Most days for breakfast I had cereal with banana. That's what's in that picture. And I use almond milk instead of like dairy milk or soy or whatever. And then I would snack most of the morning at work. And that's a semi-typical lunch. It's a fried egg sandwich, cottage cheese, which, man, I was totally loving at that time, pickle, sweet potato oven fries, and grapes. I think that's what's in the picture. And I would just try to hit, you know, different colors and different food groups. And if I couldn't eat everything in one sitting, I would just pack it up and take it with me for the afternoon. Dinners were all over the place, just based on what we cooked, so I don't really have a typical dinner. All right, at this point, I will say I still have a pretty strong feeling that this is a boy. That was my gut reaction from the very beginning. As soon as we got our positive test, I just had that feeling. And I'll say that it's gotten a little bit less strong lately, but I think it's still there. My husband still really doesn't have a feeling about that. So we'll see. Our plan is not to find out the sex of the baby. Granted, that could change. We could change our minds in the next few weeks, but I'm pretty set on that. And my husband is okay with, respecting what I want to do along those lines. So it'd be really nice to be surprised by something, since this pregnancy was planned, So that's our plan at this point. But I am going to be doing lots of prediction type things along the way, to sort of build the evidence, or just be able to guess a little bit better maybe. Okay, I wanted to share 3 products that I really recommend that helped me through my first trimester, and I think are going to help beyond. The first one is this sinus rinse. This is the brand. It's called Neomed. I've had this for years, probably 4 years. I got it for $3, and this is really similar to a neti pot, but this one is a squeeze bottle. But it's the exact same concept. You fill it up with like lukewarm, previously boiled water, and then you add a little packet of this stuff. It's basically salt and baking soda, but I tried making my own, and it didn't work as well, so I just recommend buying the little packets that they sell. So the powder goes in with the water, and then just like a neti pot, I'm not going to really demo this, but this you just squeeze and the water comes out. It goes in one nostril and out the other. And with this one, you just tip your head a little bit forward. I just do it over the sink, and you breathe through your mouth. So you don't have the feeling of water going up your nose. It's really wonderful. So in pregnancy, a lot of people complain about having like a runny nose or stuffy nose or having nosebleeds. And seriously, this helps with all of those things. It just helps keep bacteria from building up in your nasal passages and your sinuses, and just open things up with like just the slightest bit of warm water. I got this idea first from my naturopath years ago, like I said, but that was after years and years and years of having sinus infections chronically and taking antibiotics, and as soon as I'd finish the antibiotics, it would come back, and I was always having to take decongestants just to feel okay, not get headaches. And seriously, I started using this. I use it probably a couple times a week, or just as I feel like I need to, and I have not had to take antibiotics. I've not had a serious sinus infection at all since. So that's my first product. The second one, I did a little demo video. It is the SodaStream system of carbonated water, and it's just a little machine. We got ours as a wedding gift from my sister-in-law. It has a canister of carbon dioxide, I guess it is, whatever carbonates pop. So it's just a little machine. I'm going to insert the demo that we did right here. Okay, so the bottle is full of just plain tap water, and Mike is going to show how to attach it to the SodaStream machine. It screws in, and then you just press the carbonator button about 3 times until it makes... Oh, really? Okay, and that nasty noise is what you wait for, because that means it's fully carbonated, so you can take it off. And you pour yourself a glass of water. And as you can tell, it is deliciously carbonated. It doesn't have any sugar or flavorings or anything like that. It's just sparkling water, and it's awesome. And this really helped me with nausea early on. Having a little bit of something sparkling for me really helped. I know that can cause indigestion for other people, but for me that really helped settle my stomach. And it didn't have all the sugar, it didn't have like an intense taste that I think pop would have been too much for me. I would just do like a squirt of lime in sparkling water, and it was great. If you don't like water and you feel like you're not drinking enough water that you need to be early on, this could be another way to do it. It's just more, interesting for your mouth. So that's the other recommendation there. And I just saw that they started selling these at Bed Bath & Beyond. It used to be only through the internet or through mail order or whatever, but I just saw that they're selling the machines at Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know if they are refilling the canisters there. That I think is still through the mail. But for us, a large canister lasts about 6 months. And it's better for the environment because they're reusable bottles. It saves money because you just use tap water. And also it just saves you from having to lug like huge, heavy bottles of, sparkling water or pop or whatever you're getting from the grocery store. And my last recommendation so far is this skirt I got. It's from Old Navy Maternity, $14 online, and I really feel like it's going to last me this whole pregnancy. I love it, and let me show you. Okay, so if you can see, this is like jersey knit. It's super soft and comfortable, doesn't wrinkle. It's really versatile. I wear this to work. I wear it with tights, without tights. And let me show you the top. So I have it folded down for now. You can do however you want. But it does have the panel that comes up. So I think as time goes on, who knows, maybe it'll be more comfortable to pull up. But I really love this. It was a total steal, 14 bucks. I use it all the time. You can dress it up or down. I'm so glad that I got it early on because of like my nausea and bloating and stuff, tight things were really uncomfortable around my waist. And this was the perfect solution. It's maternity, so it's gonna go the distance, but at this point, it was just really comfortable to have a little bit of extra room, and yet it doesn't look like maternity clothes, so you can get away with, pulling the waistband down and just having that extra space, not having something tight on your abdomen. But I think it looks pretty good too, and it also comes in brown. So check that one out. I'm gonna end this video with a photo progression of my belly shots week by week. We started in week 5, and there's not too much of a change, I don't think. A lot of it is bloating along the way, so I actually think that there are weeks, early on that actually look bigger than like week 12 or 13, but you'll see. I just wanted to thank everybody who's been following me from the beginning or who started following me recently. This has just been such a big help for me, and I just love having your support, and I love watching your videos too. So thank you guys.